I personally didn't love Obsession. I'd give it a 6.3. Let me start off by saying, damn, what a fucking blockbuster movie by Curry Baker. Just making it to the theaters is enough to rave about. I've been loving that content creators are finally fucking getting a chance, but also it's crazier that this movie was only made on $750 fucking $1,000. The only thing that scares me about the success of these movies though is that I'm a little scared they might start trusting content creators a little too fucking much. And those content creators might fuck up what these others guys have laid down, like Rekka, Markiplier, Kane, Curry, and Smosh, because they have a movie. But that's really besides the fact. Okay, let's talk about Obsession and why this movie isn't as good as, in my opinion, everyone is raving as it to be. So welcome in another boy, Bear. Bear's a really tall, muscular, dirty, super hot, super fucking hot, and Bear likes a girl. She's a nerd that likes to fucking play Siege or something. Her name's Nikki. Nikki doesn't like Bear. But Bear's like, yeah, let me ask Nikki out. She's nice, she's caring, she's the only person that's ever been there for me. He wants to be like, hey, Nikki, I really, really like you. I stare at your Instagram every night before I go to sleep. But he's too scared, of course. So Bear tries to confess, then fails. Then Nikki's like, hey, wait, Bear, do you like me? Because now's the time to tell. And then he's like, fuck, no, what? We're friends, obviously. And then he messes up again. So, and I forgot to mention that Bear buys this magic elf penis that he breaks in half and he can wish for stuff with. But he obviously doesn't know that the wishes actually work. So he wishes for Nikki to fuck him. Nikki to fall in love with him. Nikki to fall in love with him. It's a weird thing, but these fucking little wish penises would totally be like confiscated by the FBI if they've ever even heard wind about them. But I mean, it's for the sake of the story or whatever. So anyway, well, to rephrase the wish is actually I want Nikki to be in love with me more than anybody in the entire world. That's actually the wish. So, and this shit arises two big fucking plot holes. One, what is the definition of love? And second, more than anyone in the entire world just means more than the most loved person in our life at this moment. No, I don't think I'd be acting like that, dude. Back to the definition of love. The actual definition of the closest definition of love I could find is that love is a profoundly tender, passionate affection, often mingled with sexual desires for another person. I feel like as human beings, the meaning of love has gotten really, really lost over and over. That's just through time. But I'm not saying it's wrong for in this. Oh my god, fucking hell! I'm not saying it's wrong for love in this scenario to take on that role of what it takes on in this movie. Reason being is because our perception of love is so daunted. But I did some thinking, and honestly, I'm just gonna blame this on the entity that takes over Nikki. Because it makes sense for the entity to perceive love like that, because it seems like a very evil thing, you know. So we won't write that down as a writing issue. Just I really don't like doing guesswork. But let's talk more about the fact that Bear's wishes for Nikki to love him more than anybody in the entire world. So this would mean that he'd rank over probably just a parent, you know? Nothing too big. So that's why it's kind of confusing whenever, Nikki's doing all this crazy shit like fucking shitting herself standing still. I think the scenes of their friends getting introduced and learning the group is really smooth, and I like how they go from like party to party. At least that's what I remember. If I were to slightly nitpick, it's maybe dragged out too long, but that's like super fucking tiny. And for sure, my favorite part is whenever Nikki's just sitting out on the porch, just the stance she hits is so crazy. Just aura maxing. It's kind of fucking comical that Bear doesn't think that the Willow made her act this way instantly, but Bear being stupid doesn't necessarily make the writing bad. I'm still gonna talk about Bear being stupid often. So now Nikki's like, Bear, I want to go to your house. So she goes to Bear's house and they're sleeping, but I'm forgetting, so I need to rewatch real quick. Okay, so Nikki goes to Bear's house, and she's like, I want to sleep, but sleep with me. They start kissing, then real Nikki breaks through for a second. She's like, what the fuck? And then Bear gets scared. Everyone's already dick read the acting of the goat, so I'm not gonna dick read the acting of the goat, even though her acting's amazing. But who cares? I'm here to hate. Okay, I wasn't really able to read these Reddit posts from in the theater and they're really cool actually. A lot of people who say they don't work have never broken them, but everyone who says they work have broken them. But of course, this aligns with the bear's character. He isn't one to do research, he wants everything instantly, so why would he read these comments? But here we go with another silly scene, in my opinion. Again, it's kind of Bear being stupid, but you see a fucking dead cat on your floor, you're like, something's really fucked up. And Bear doesn't see this as like a sign or anything, he's just like, oh, Nikki, come on, dude. I just think it's kind of silly. It's a little outlandish. I don't know if it's supposed to be comical, but it really feels comical. So Nikki and Bear to go to work, and we get some cool cinematography. Not saying there wasn't any cool cinematography before. Like again, Nikki standing with fucking aura. But speaking of cinematography, we get this beautiful shot where Nikki starts looking at Bear while they're working. They're in the workplace. He's talking to, I forgot his name. I'm gonna call him Chad. He's talking to Chad. He's like, dude, Nikki's trying to fucking, I don't know. She's on something. And it's a really cool shot because the just the whole place is perfectly in frame. It's in focus, sorry, not frame. It's in focus, but where Nikki is, it's out of focus. And I think that's really, really cool because you get to see Nikki just peering at Bear the whole time while focusing on the conversation too and the characters at hand. And maybe I'm just an old head. I'm not an old head, but I really dislike this new cinematography where it's not really even cinematography. It's just like subject with a blurry background. I don't really fuck with it. It's kind of like for pictures more, it feels. Love Marty Supreme, but there's almost zero cinematography just besides the fucking the blur in the background the whole movie. I really like seeing creative cinematography, but what I like seeing more is story driven cinematography. I think it's really fucking awesome whenever you can pull that off properly in a movie. I don't really feel like it happens this much in this movie, and I think it would have really profited from doing that. For example, like hiding cameras in bookshelves, making it like feel like you're not supposed to be there. I think it'd be really awesome, but I mean, it's not in the movie, sadly. And I don't think it took away from the experience because I kind of wasn't in the experience. I think that's kind of what brought the movie down for me as well. So yeah, but now we're back to our little movie tour, movie rant. Now Nikki is like, hey dude, wait, no, fuck, no, Chad's like, hey dude, Nikki was totally on drugs. Not cool, bro. Not cool that you hung out with her, but that's good that you now know she's on drugs so you don't take advantage of her or do anything with her. It's because, you know, she's not in the best mind state. She's not doing the best. And, you know, so, hey, man, just remember she's on drugs. And then he remembers, but he's like, well, she came back to my house and she's not on drugs, so it should be fine. But he's like, eh. So there's a scene whenever Nikki is looking at Bear and through the door because she shows up again, and she's talking about something I'll talk about in a minute. But I really love the fucking little glimmer in her eyes. It's so cool. It's such a small thing, but I fuck with it so much. So Nikki tells Bear that, oh no, I didn't feel like I got taken advantage of. I would never say that I got taken advantage of. And then Bear's like, dude, yeah, dude, I didn't, no, I did not take advantage of you. That would be weird. And it kind of shows that he feels like he did. Because, I mean, I feel like not every guy's been there, but every guy has a fear of feeling like they're taking advantage of a woman. And that feels horrifying. Because I don't ever want to do that. Nobody ever wants to do that. But you can tell Bear actually feels like he did that in this scene. And I fuck with that as well. I could be tripping, but after this scene, they start doing the deed. And basically, we go in a montage of them dating. At the beginning, whenever I first saw it, I was like, this is kind of useless. But it does show Bear dating Nikki and honestly falling out of love with her pretty fucking fast, and I think it does contribute to the story a lot. And I think it's been like, let's say it's been 1 to 3 days and Bear's already falling out of love with her, and it's like, damn, that's kind of fast. So the dinner scene is next. We get into the dinner scene, and the dinner scene is like, hey, I'm a dinner guy, and it actually gives us context and more insight on Bear's character and everyone's character, and I really like it. And but there's a very big problem where they open conflicts and they just close it instantly. Like Nikki's dad having cancer, for example. Nikki lies earlier in the movie saying, hey dude, my dad has cancer, please be nice to me. Then Chad calls him up and he's like, dude, Nikki's dad doesn't have fucking cancer. She's lying. And she just goes on this tangent where she's like, we're supposed to have a good date. And it's good acting. Again, fucking amazing acting. But, I mean, no, fuck you. Not horrible acting. It's amazing acting. But, again, it doesn't really bring anything to the story besides being like, ooh, kind of creepy. Oh, Nikki's a liar. But I feel like we could already tell that from a lot, you know? Maybe I think it would have been nicer if maybe Chad withheld that information and instead of having that dinner scene, we could have had it maybe in the party scene and things go haywire more. You know, talking about Nikki, your dad doesn't even have cancer or something. And then she's like, what the fuck do you, yeah, he does. Yeah, he does or something. Like, and I think it could have spiraled better rather than just a scene that kind of could just be left out and then you could understand the movie besides the cat food scene. Then again, this cat food scene can be explained in any other way. Like, they could have had a conversation, they could have been eating or something, and we could have popped up a little, oh yeah, wait, what happened to you trying to be a food critic, Bear, or something like that. That would have been interesting, in my opinion. Well, not interesting, but I think it would have made the story flow just so much better. And rather than what we have here, where we stop like the flow and momentum of the movie to go to a scene where it kind of feels out of place. Then we have the iconic bed scene, which I also think is just very useless. It's kind of Nikki just being, again, like, oh, I'm so creepy, look at me. And I get that some people like that, but for me, it's just a very big turn off because it kind of it takes away time from the actual movie and the actual storyline that's going on, which is a really interesting storyline. But I think Obsession would be better as a short film, and I know Curry Barker is used to making short films, and I fuck with some of his short films. I watched one so far, but no, I said some, but I really liked it so far. I think I no, I didn't even finish it. What the fuck? But it's been really good. I've enjoyed it a ton. Holy fucking dilly dally by me. But Nikki does these cool things. Again, amazing actor. I think they switch out the actor and give her makeup and put her in the corner. It's really cool. I love the behind the scenes so far of what I've seen. It's so fucking it's so cool. I really don't think the pee scene or even the tape scene are necessary, showing that, you know, she taped it or she's pissing, because it doesn't add to the story at all. Again, it's just, ooh, look how weird this is. This is kind of weird, guys, right? And also kind of don't get the food critic thing. I don't know if I'm missing something. Like, I might be very much missing something. The food critic thing is kind of weird to me because it's like it doesn't really play an integral part in the story besides building up to the cat thing of being, ooh, that's weird, you know. But we do thankfully get a beautiful scene with Sarah and Bear and them like growing closer and seeing that they actually do have a connection that Bear is too fucking blind to see because he's a moron. And we're introduced to another conflict that doesn't really get resolved ever, besides just being like, oh, the conflict's gone. Chad's like, hey dude, you can't bring Nikki. Nikki's like, dude, you're bringing me. And then they bring Nikki. It's pretty silly. I think it would have been better if Nikki is like, yeah, I'll stay, Bear. Then she's like, oh fuck, I can't stay. I love Bear too much or some shit like that. At this point, I'm getting really lazy from writing this script, and I'm just gonna talk about the cinematography, like the dolly movement. No, I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm lazy. So, other than talking about the fact that the party scene's fucking epic and cool and hot and sexy, but it could be cooler, but I love it. After the party scene, everything goes uphill. The movie's just like peak. I really don't know what to say. The whole movie's engaging after that party scene. There's a call. Bear calls, and I love this scene. It's very enjoyable. It's not really useful besides telling you, oh, Nikki's trapped, you know. But it's a very fun scene with Curry Barker as the phone operator. The only two things I dislike about this conclusion are probably the fact that Sarah's still trying to get with Bear, even though this motherfucker, like, there's way more going on than that. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your time, bro? Then again, this Chad fuck being like, oh, Bear fucking walks in fully covered in blood, and he's telling him the most believable shit ever about how this wish turned Nikki into fucking an insane psycho freak, and then he's like, nah, dude, you're fucking lying. $1 billion or whatever. And he's not even like, it's not even like this Chad guy fucking hates Bear. He loves Bear. He's like, dude, we won $1 billion. We won $1 billion. Boom. So I'll end this off on a little nice note. I like the little pill scene. I like that Bear's a little bitch. Yeah, fuck Bear. I only made this video because fucking Backroom's got so much fucking hate. Backroom's so fucking good. Yeah, Nikki goes back to being good at Siege or something, and the friend group burns in hell because it's like the worst friend group ever fucking created. That's it.